Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome once again to another Love Entrepreneurs show starring Eleri Cosslett. Love Entrepreneurs is a fellowship. The idea is the group raise everyone up, all tides rise, all ships, as it were. And today we're talking about the Big Fix, the flagship product of Love Entrepreneurs. The focus being effectively a mastermind where a council of peers will help you see your business from a different angle, giving you new ideas and hopefully a new thrust forward. Eleri, would you take it away?
Well, thank you very much, Gareth. But I'd like to say that it's also a show for everyone. It's not just my show. But thank you for saying that. So we had a wonderful guest. It was my privilege, or our privilege, Love Entrepreneurs, I should say, to welcome Laura Quelch to come and do a Big Fix a couple of weeks ago. And this Big Fix for me was really interesting because I'm going to read this. Laura is a hypnotic marketing mage. Now, for some of you out there, you might think, what the fuck is that? So, Laura, what the fuck is a hypnotic marketing mage? What exactly is this? Tell us about that, please.
Yeah, hello. Thank you. So my name's Laura Elizabeth Quelch. Yes, I'm a hypnotic marketing mage at LQD and LQD Magic. So I'm a marketer. I have been for over a decade now. I work for myself. So I was doing a range of different things. And the mage first came in because I sprinkle my magic on your marketing and make it work for you. So the magic came in of, I did a sort of Taylor Swift, I'm not sure who will pick up on that reference, of taking the power back when throughout my career I'd had many different people use the term just work your magic. And I know a lot of them meant it as a compliment that I just did things so efficiently and effectively that they thought it was magic. But it was a thorn in my side for a while because it wasn't magic. It was years of experience.
You were just doing your job.
Right. Yeah. I was like, this is actual work I'm doing, not magic. And then, I took the power back and said, you know what? I am doing magic. You don't need to know what exactly it is I do, with the algorithm and SEO and all those different things. You just need to trust that I know what I'm doing and that whatever I do will get you the results you desire. So that was marketing mage. That was my USP. And then last year, I trained as a hypnotherapist. And as I was training and I was taking on my usual clients for strategy calls for their marketing, I found the coaching, the NLP, the counseling, the training was coming through and just opening up those sessions even better to delve deeper into what was actually holding them back right now in their business. And so it all came together of hypnotic marketing mage.
Well, that is quite extraordinary. So, so the question for the Big Fix, the question that you yourself posed, right, was, I can't remember exactly. It was really whether you should keep the hypnotherapy business and the marketing business as two separate businesses, or whether you should be uniting them as something together.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I remember, so it was really, because we do the Big Fix over 2 days. Now, this is deliberate, and you saw this very clearly, because on day one, the audience was really behind one method, and they were very clear about that. On day two, a completely different audience. They completely disagreed with audience one. So how did you find that Big Fix process? Did you find was it helpful? Was it confusing? Because I was a bit confused at the end. I ended up when I did the report, I was like, okay, so we've got two rooms here who are completely at odds. It was like a 50-50. So this is now over to you to do what you feel is the right thing for you, having looked at two completely different groups of people.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Thank you again for the opportunity. Both groups were so friendly, and I think it's quite interesting. It's like, well, with therapy, really, a lot of people say, oh, did I just say that? Like, I had no idea I felt that way, sort of thing. And that's what happened for me. It was so powerful. You know, I first session completely confused, like, what do I do? You know, marketing, hypnotherapy, it is a bit confusing. You know, should I launch this? Should I do that? And what they fed back to me was when I spoke about hypnotherapy and helping others, you know, helping people feel better about themselves, I lit up. You know, I was animated, and I had no idea. You know, you don't really know what you're doing when you're talking, right? So they fed that back to me. That was the most powerful thing for me, of like, wow, yes, this is what I'm meant to be doing.
No, it's always reassuring when you get the feedback that you actually come alive when you're talking about a topic, because I suspect that's the one that feeds your soul.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, I mean, that is so true. And because you see that, because we don't see ourselves often. And when we're talking about things that we really care about, something happens. We're just more liked. We're more, our face changes, our words change. But what I got out of it was, because I'll be honest, I came to it thinking I was one of the people in room one that thought, oh, come on, marketing, hypnotherapy, two completely separate businesses. But actually, having got to know you and having thought about it because of the work that you do and how you do it within your marketing, because a lot of people, and Gareth comes across this no doubt too, of my age group, the fossil generation, as I self-call myself, right?
What does that make me? Unbelievable.
You're Jurassic, don't worry. You're not much older than me. You're about the same age anyway. You're the fossil generation like me. Anyway, so the point is, we didn't grow up with tech. So for us, we also have to overcome this fear, right? It's not what everybody deals with it differently, but I'm really tech phobic. Tell me to press a button and you just asked me, didn't you? Can you email this to me? You said just a couple of minutes ago. I went into sort of pseudo meltdown, suddenly forgetting where I'll do this myself automatically. It's a sort of stupid thing that we do. So I then thought to myself, my gosh, this is actually, you could help so many people overcome, who have businesses and they've got good businesses, but they just like me. Gareth has told me this before because he is a LinkedIn expert. I haven't even linked my profile up to any of the businesses. I didn't even mention them. I'm like, well, what is the point of having a LinkedIn profile? There isn't. But also how you can hypnotically transfer these people from disempowerment to taking your own power back. My father was 82 when he became a Silver Surfer. And we used to ask him, he was an expert in Instagram. He was, an expert in X. He used to post random, he was a former journalist. He used to post nonsense just to wind people up. He used to just he used to enjoy winding people up and spend most of his day just being a fool, really. But we used to ask him, he just approached it with an open mind. I think there's a huge benefit here. There's a huge generation which have been left behind. Your calming techniques, I think, could really help.
Yeah, definitely. I love working with people who have set up their own business. So quite often when we do that, like we talked about in one of the sessions, is we all have our story of why. Why did we quit our job and take that leap of faith? Why do we want to do this for other people? And yeah, it's really personal. It's really powerful. And a lot of people, they lack that self-belief, that self-worth. They suddenly stumble a bit like, oh, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And so I love being able to help them with that bit first and then move forward with it. And yeah, with marketing, you all need marketing. You all have an online presence, whether you like it or not. So why not take control of it and use it to your benefit? And of course, a lot of us aren't marketers, but we have an amazing skill set, an amazing service. So how do we get that out there and help others?
No, that's true. Do you have any comments, if you like? I mean, did this make you, because sometimes what happens is that after day one, people really go into a bit of a meltdown, right? This is not always, but sometimes, because it's easy for me to sit there and host it because it's not affecting me. But did you feel that the ideas coming at you were sort of so fast and furious that it was quite unsettling? But by day 2, that had sort of somehow come full circle and that you'd actually begun to understand where the process was taking you? Because it might not have. You might have thought, it because I'm interested in feedback in terms of how it, because there have been people who have completely almost had a breakdown after they there's one guy, not you, Gareth, or anything. There was one guy who was a mortgage broker. This is going back 2-3 years ago now, who literally, there was no reason for having I don't think he had a breakdown, but he was just absolutely flawed. Because what we did was we deconstructed his business for him and rebuilt it back up, showing him where all the gaps were. And he just like,
oh gosh.
Those things are wake-up calls, because you're always trying to strive to do this thing better. But sometimes when you're feeding ideas back to people, it is important that we do get real and honest feedback about how to do that. Different people take feedback, and I'm not very good at taking criticism, but I hold my hand up to that. I've been through a program.
Well, I'm all about positive feedback. So if it's presented in a way that's to genuinely help you and it's actionable, then absolutely. Because I can imagine why some people can feel a little bit overwhelmed perhaps by the choices.
Yeah, that's what we always try to do, because this is, I think, the big defining difference for me. What I wanted to create with Love Entrepreneurs, I didn't want to leave people on a like that. Always provide a solution. There's no point saying, oh yeah, well, I don't like that. Well, great. Well, what's your solution then? Rather than just shut your mouth, because we can all say something's crap, but the real challenge is that's an invalid comment until you can come up with, well, what would make it better and why? And understand that it's always that person's personal choice. Because we're, just like room 1 and room 2, totally different views on the same question. That's human beings, right? But we can unite and agree, I think, on one thing, and that is that there is a real need. I don't know whether Gareth would agree with this, but I feel from what I've seen that there is a real need for the 40+ group to have some serious help with overcoming tech fear.
I think, I was a Cisco engineer for 21 years, so I suppose I come from a different kind of neck of the woods. But what I see around me is a lot of people fighting that if they press the wrong button, it will suddenly explode and turn into dust. Yeah, and I think if a lot of them could get past that, then they would find that actually it flowed fairly easily. It's dealing with social media and dealing with work on computers in general is relatively simple, as long as you stick to first principles. And it's often people assuming that pressing the escape key means the whole computer will blow up and that you've deleted it forever and all that sort of nonsense.
You know where that comes from, though? If you go back to Microsoft, I don't know, 90. When did it come out? In say 97 or before then.
Microsoft 86.
No, but I was thinking when I first had my home computer. Now I was told that the escape key did exit you from the program completely and exit you from everything. That's obviously changed now, but that stuck in my mind from back then. This is going back like 20-25 years ago now.
The escape key is a hangover from what was called VT100 terminals, when you didn't actually have a computer. You had a sort of like connected to a mainframe or something, and the escape would take you back to the home screen. But it's a hangover, a bit like the vertical line on a shift / is a hangover character from typesetting days. Meaningless, really. But no, you're quite right. It's a matter of education, but also I think if you could give people or teach people calming techniques, so their approach towards tech wasn't one that it's there to kill me, and more by it's a tool that can help me.
But do you, I mean, what, Laura, what's your experience so far with working with this demographic? Do you have an ideal demographic in mind that you would like to work with?
Yeah, it's a good question. So it does actually, my client base does tend to be that sort of demographic because of those common fears that when we work on the surface level is I don't have any time, or I could never, I could never do what you do, I could never learn it, sort of thing. So then that's when the therapy comes through, when my hypnotherapy comes through, and I ask, never? You've never learned anything? Did you learn to walk? Did you immediately get up and start walking? Or did you stumble down? The service you provide right now, were you always an expert in it? And you just get them opening it up. When you talk about it and you start questioning that narrative, you weaken it. And that means you're able to swap it out for something a lot more powerful, a lot more, benefiting to you. Like, I can do this and I do deserve the success that will come from being able to put myself out there and post about my services and go to networking events and all these different things. So that's where it comes back again of the different layers that I have of, yes, we do the marketing, and before that we have that conversation of going, what is holding you back right now? Let's have an honest conversation. How do you feel about this right now? What's worked for you in the past? What hasn't? And let's properly talk about why it hasn't worked for you and see if you're open to trying again.
Sounds like you'd be fantastic for teaching me how to pass maths O-level for the 6th time, because I've only failed it 5 times. So, sort of that's a question of, sort of open-minded. But it's brilliant. It's amazing having had you as a guest on the Big Fix. And I'm really pleased. I mean, I'm looking forward to introducing you to the whole community, and because I really think that you could. The thing is, I mean, this is a community for everybody, and the community is as big as everybody wants to make it, And I think you're right. It's getting them to claim their power back without fear. Because that, as you were speaking, in my head was going, yeah, but you can't. You can't.
Yeah, that's I don't know. Maybe being autistic is helps me, but my assumption is I can, and I just get on with it. Let me first of all talk a bit about Laura. If you want to find out more about what Laura can help you do, from the point of view of removing the obstacles perhaps that you put in your path, using hypnotherapy and positivity to help you do that, then please follow that QR code in the corner. She seems like an absolutely peach of a woman, and she'll help you actually achieve your goals. Now, before we go any further, I want to draw your attention to the other QR code, bottom left. Now, that says it actually will take you to the loveentrepreneurs.com site, and on there, it will actually take you onto the Big Fix. So Big Fix is absolutely free. It's a council of people who are your peers, gives you a view of your own personal business scenario in a way that perhaps you haven't had it before. And out of that may well become the ideas that shape the next 10 years of your life. I just wanted to thank so much Eleri for putting this together, and Laura for coming on. And to you out there, keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars, and please look after that mental health. Until next week, bye-bye.
Thank you.